What's going on, everyone? Linkature64 here, and welcome to the very first, hopefully of many, Nintendo news briefs, where I go over a few of the more minor topics in the Nintendo world that took place from that week, and, well, talk about them. A few of these didn't deserve videos of their own because they just weren't big enough, but when compiled together, there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened, particularly this week, which would have been about late August. So anyways, guys, let's just hop right into it. To start off, a little less than a week ago, Square Enix teased that Final Fantasy 15 is coming to the Switch. Now, this was a very interesting way to tease it. What they did was they basically went live on a Twitch stream and teasing that Final Fantasy 15 would be coming to a console that sounds kind of like Twitch.
Can't give you any complete, solid details right at the moment, but for our policy-wise, we very much do want to move out and do as much as we can with the game, with the franchise. So there's another certain console out there people may be thinking of. Sounds a little bit like you guys, your name, Twitch. I think we'll just leave it there.
It just really casually, which is really interesting that they would say something this big and tease it in such a small and minor way. Regardless, it sounds very exciting. Final Fantasy 15 did pretty good in a critical performance. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is how will it perform on the Switch? Because it definitely is a graphically has a lot of graphical fidelity, and especially on like the PS4 and stuff. So I'm wondering if they're going to have to make a few cuts on the resolution or frame rate or whatever to get that down. But regardless, I'm looking forward to playing Final Fantasy on the go. A few days ago, Nintendo announced that ARMS is receiving a new fighter, Lola Pop. Now, this was actually leaked a few days before it came out, but basically what Lola Pop is a candy-themed fighter. Her arms are literally made of candy, and she is a clown, with her special ability being that her suit can inflate, allowing her to shield while she's moving. And this comes with the version 3.0 of ARMS. No release date yet, but I'm glad that Nintendo is continuing to support this game. ARMS certainly is a solid game, although it does lack a bit of single player. I would appreciate if they could bring in more single player a little bit at a time. But I'm glad they're continuing to support the game and giving people incentive to go back and try it out again. Nintendo was at Gamescom this week in Cologne, Germany, and while they were there, they showed off some footage and gameplay of the Luncheon Kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey. Now, if you remember, this kingdom was actually shown off in the initial trailer for Super Mario Odyssey all the way back in January 12th, but no gameplay had been shown of it up to this point, even at E3. So they showed about 10 minutes, where a few of the producers of the game played it for a while. You got to see one of Mario's new costumes, a chef's hat and coat. He also showed off just a few minor things, like him being able to capture a fireball and swim through lava and stuff. So it looked really cool, like a really cool kingdom, and you don't even know how much I'm looking forward to this game. As you probably know, Rocket League, the phenomenally popular game that came out a couple years ago, is coming to Nintendo Switch. And what we did know before, even though that was announced at E3 earlier this year, and we did know that there was going to be exclusive content to the Switch version, we didn't know what that exclusive content would be, other than, they were going to be themed cars. Well, Psyonix, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that name, but they revealed a trailer for Rocket League for the Switch, showing off the new cars that are coming to it, which includes a Mario-themed car, a Luigi-themed car, and a super epic-looking Samus-themed car. I mean, look at this thing. All three of them look amazing, but I'm really liking this Metroid one. I'm looking forward to playing Rocket League on the Switch for sure. I've never been a huge Rocket League player before. I play it sometimes when I go to a friend's house, but this makes me all the more hyped for it. A couple days ago, a new stage came to Splatoon 2 Salmon Run. This was also announced in a trailer at Gamescom that Nintendo brought out, where they announced a new special weapon, as well as this new Salmon Run stage, which is called Lost Outpost. And basically what it is this abandoned sort of enclosed warehouse where you are inside of a building, and so it's very enclosed, and you can feel very trapped by your enemies. And I've gotten a chance to play this on this stage. Hopefully you have too. And it's a really fun stage, especially in Salmon Run. And I hope that Nintendo continues to add more stages, not only to Salmon Run, but the regular online multiplayer as well. Oh yeah, and my bad, they also did bring a new online multiplayer stage called Manta Maria, which is basically a ship that you're able to fight on. So, both cool stages. Looking forward to whatever content they come out after this as well. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is coming out this week. If you're like me, whenever this game was initially leaked, you were probably very, very confused and very, very skeptical about this game. But it's shaping up to be a pretty nifty game that a lot of people are calling a lot of fun, like XCOM, but with Mario and Rabbids. And it's looking to be a pretty worthy title. Now, the question for me is whether or not it will be worth $60 of my money. I don't know. That's a good question right there. But if you've got the spare cash, it comes out on Tuesday. So I definitely recommend giving this game a shot if you can afford it. Finally, this was just announced a few hours before recording this. Fire Emblem Warriors will have the option to change the resolution and the frame rate. You can have it in one of two options. You can have it at 1080p with 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second at 720p. And this seems like something that's very uncharacteristic of Nintendo. Like they're never really super concerned about the graphical fidelity of their games. And so it's kind of cool seeing them kind of make a little step in that direction. I hope that this doesn't become a common occurrence with them. That's the one thing that I kind of find relieving about Nintendo, that Xbox and PlayStation, and certainly PC, really do and overuse a lot, is that they really push that graphical fidelity. So I hope Nintendo doesn't make this into a reoccurring trend, but, you know, it's kind of cool to see. So as for Fire Emblem Warriors itself, I'm not certain about that. It's looking to be a pretty decent game. I haven't been the hugest fan of Warriors before, but it's looking pretty cool for those who are a fan of the series. Well, guys, that's it in terms of the smaller news that happened this week in the world of Nintendo. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's 7 really, really small topics, but when compiled together in one video, it stacks up. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. You don't even know how much I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I am Linkatcher64. I talk about everything Nintendo, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, all that amazing stuff. And if you're interested, you could subscribe to my channel up here and check out my latest video up here. While you're here, guys, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, sharing, all that amazing stuff, it really helps support the channel, so I can hopefully come up with more of these Nintendo news briefs and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.